I'm Rivka Kahan, and I'm excited to share with you some of the tools that exist at al-hatorah.org to deepen Tanakh learning and teaching. Let's begin by learning how we can identify the components of a biblical text and its milim manchot, or keywords, in order to better understand the themes and messages of the text. In order to do this, let's go to the Tanakh part of the website, to the Tanakh Lab. We're going to look at one biblical text, so we'll stay with this window on the right, and we'll look, for an example, at Ruth Perek Aleph. Now you could put in more than a parak or less than a parak, a section of any length that you choose, but we're going to look at the entirety of Ruth Perek Aleph. So if we look at this table that appears with the word Tanakh highlighted, we see in descending order the words that appear with greatest frequency in our parak relative to the rest of Tanakh. If we highlight the word Sefer, we see the words that appear with greatest frequency in descending order relative to the rest of the Sefer. And if we click on Baketa, we see the words that appear with greatest numerical frequency within our parak. So we see right away that the word that appears with greatest numerical frequency in Ruth Perek Aleph is the verb to return, shin vav vet. And if we click on it, we can see highlighted all of the instances within our parak where this word appears. Now we can understand intuitively why this would be an important word in Ruth Perek Aleph, since the parak is about Naomi's return from Moab to her homeland of Eretz Yehuda. For example, when the Tanakh tells us Vatashav mistei Moab about Naomi. We can also understand why Naomi uses this word when she repeatedly encourages her daughters-in-law to return to their own homes in Moab so as to have the best chance of rebuilding their lives. For example, when she says, Shov na isha lebeit ima. What becomes interesting by analyzing the use of this word throughout the parak is that sometimes return is not straightforward. Sometimes returning to one's home means going to a place where one has never been. In Ruth's mind, the journey to Eretz Yehuda, a land where she has never lived, is really a return to her spiritual home. That's why she and Orpah initially tried to convince Naomi, Itach nashuv la'amech, we will return with you to your people. Naomi discourages this, and Orpah listens to her and returns to Moab. But Ruth continues to see the journey to Eretz Yehuda, even with all of the enormous challenges that it will entail, both during the journey and once she reaches Eretz Yehuda, as a return to her own home. And because of her relationship to Naomi and her desire to be part of the Jewish people, she is willing to rise to all of these challenges. Even when Naomi ceases talking to her because of her persistence, in Pasuk Yud Chet, Naomi stopped talking to Ruth because she persisted. Ruth continues to view this journey as an essential one for her and as a return to her own home, which is why in the last pasuk, Ruth is described as Hashala mistei Moab. She is returning from Stei Moab, from her actual home, to her spiritual home in Eretz Yehuda. And throughout Megillat Ruth, we see that Ruth finds her spiritual home in Eretz Yehuda, and also that Naomi, who initially was skeptical of her decision to return to Eretz Yehuda, comes to embrace her as a true daughter who has returned to her own rightful home. And in this way, analyzing the Milah Mancha of Ruth Perek Aleph sheds light on our understanding of the parak itself and of the themes and messages of both the parak and the Sefer as a whole.